fourth graders. This is our second lesson about how to manage anxiety. So, if you remember the very end of 2020, the last SEL lesson, we were talking about what to do to manage anxiety, and we practiced those rainbow breaths, right? Right up and above. And we also talked about just different things you can tell yourself to try to get yourself not to be anxious, to think about other things, ways you can calm down, ways you can distract yourself, or just positive self talk that can help you get through something that might be kind of anxiety inducing or might feel kind of stressful. All right. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about anxiety and we're going to find out what our character from last time did in that stressful situation. If you remember, he was anxious about a test he was going to be taking and he kept telling himself he couldn't do it. So, if you remember, let's go back to 2020. We talked about how anxiety feels uncomfortable to everybody. Everybody experiences it, and nobody likes to feel anxious. It's that worried, stressed, nervous feeling that kind of all goes together in one. And I want you to think about situations that might come up in fourth grade that might make you feel anxious. What are some examples of things that might make you anxious? I have a big one. COVID-19, right? You might be anxious about somebody in your family getting it. You might be anxious about going to a place that you're worried other people might have it and you might be exposed to it. You might be anxious about, oh, what if school starts up again? Do I go back to school? Right? That's a huge one right now in people's lives, fourth graders or otherwise, right? Can you think of other things that might make a fourth grader feel anxious? Thinking about things like making friends. People get anxious about making new friends, especially. Learning hard things or trying new things can make people feel anxious in fourth grade or otherwise, right? Hmm. Any other good ones that you've thought of? Fourth graders do feel anxious. They do feel anxiety. And sometimes we just don't know what to call it, but that is the name for it, right? Anxiety or anxiousness. Okay. So let's move on and think about if there are so many things that we can feel anxious about, if that's a problem. Well, let's think about this. Do I have control over COVID-19? I don't. I don't, right? It is way too big for me to have control over. Just like I don't have control over the weather, right? I might be anxious about a snowstorm that's going to come and I'm worried that somebody's going to get stuck in it, right? Maybe they're driving someplace. I can't control the weather, right? So I can't really fix that anxiety very easily. But what if I'm feeling anxious about a friendship? Do I have some control over that? I do, right? I can say, you know what? I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to be confident when I talk to them. I'm going to try to do my best to think of things that maybe both of us would like to do, right? I can kind of make a plan for myself and then use that plan. And that's doing the best I can. And that's what I can control, right? Some things I can control, some things I can't. School, right? I can prepare as best I can for a test. I can read the chapter I'm supposed to read if I'm supposed to do something for reading. I can do the best writing work I can and listen to the editing tips that I'm getting from the teachers, right? I can do those things to help control my anxiety, to help me feel less nervous or anxious about it. Now, remember right before break, I said, oh, how would you feel if I said we're going to have a test right now and you can't change your answer? We talked about how that might make you feel anxious, right? But then what if a teacher said to you or I said to you, the test doesn't actually count? Well, that would totally change how you feel, right? That would change your anxiety completely. You don't have control over whether the teacher says that or not, right? You just have control over you being as prepared as you can be. Okay. So we have to think about, is this something that I'm worried about or I'm anxious about? Is it something I can control or is it not? Right? There are bigger things than me that I just cannot control. And then there's things that I actually can do something about. Right? So I have to think about which one it is. Okay. So before break, Ethan was anxious about that test. And remember, he told himself he was stupid, he was never going to do well. And we talked about how that negative self talk just does not work very well, and how he was having those feelings and he probably wasn't going to do his best. He also had kind of unrealistic ideas that everybody else was amazing at math and he wasn't. Right? He was thinking everybody else is going to be perfect at this. That's kind of putting himself down, right? And raising other people up, even when they might not be super great at math. Okay. So, what could Ethan do to help himself think more clearly? He's about to take this test. So far, what he has been doing has not been doing a clearing of his mind or making him do his best. What could he do? How could he change? Think of some of the things we've talked about when we have strong feelings, when we need to change our mindset, when we need to change our perspective. What are some things he could do? I know. Ethan could take some of those deep breaths. Do you remember when we talked about the deep breaths where you breathe in for 4 and then you hold it for 4 and then you breathe out for 8? We talked about those when we were saying if you feel angry. But remember, that deep breath helped calm our heartbeat. It helped calm our muscles that were maybe tensing. It helped our brain to switch over from that part of the brain that just kind of goes, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, right? To our thinking part of our brain. So maybe he could take some deep breaths. That could be something. Did anybody say he should start telling himself something different? Don't tell yourself you're dumb and can't do it, right? That could be another thing. Let's see what Ethan actually does. Let's watch.
Okay, Ethan, get a grip. I'm feeling really anxious. I need to try to calm down. Okay, I'm just going to take a couple of deep breaths in through my nose, breathing deep down out through my mouth. Again. All right, it's going to be okay. I'll just do my best.
Ah, it does seem like those deep breaths maybe help change his thinking. And I liked that last thing he said. It's going to be okay. I'll just do my best. Sometimes we need to tell ourselves that. Sometimes we expect ourselves to be too amazing and too perfect at things. And sometimes we just need to say, all I can do is the best I can do. That's all that anybody can ask of me, right? I liked how he stopped himself and told himself what the feeling was. Okay, you're feeling really anxious. We talked about that. Remember, stop, give yourself some kind of a signal. Mine's tap myself on the leg. And then in your head, think, what is this feeling that is getting my body feeling so uptight or so stressed or so angry or so excited, whatever it is, right? What is it that's doing that? And then the breathing and the positive self talk, right? Those can be really good steps for getting ourselves out of that situation. So the next time you're feeling anxious, maybe give that a try, what Ethan did, right? We talked about this, his stop signal, right? He said, okay, Ethan, get a grip. I thought that was a funny way to say it. Get a grip, right? Stop it. He said he was feeling anxious and he did his breathing. And then he told himself he could do it, right? I know I believe in you. And I know all your teachers that you deal with believe it in you. But if you don't believe in you, you'll never be as good as you could possibly be. So that's a really good self talk that Ethan taught us. It's going to be okay. I'll just do my best. That's what we expect. And that's what we hope you're able to tell yourself. I'll see you next time.